Crypt Security is the first encounter of this raid, and it introduces several recurring mechanics that make up the core of this raid. The first being augmentation terminals, which are used in every single encounter. There are 3 buffs that players can hold to do various jobs involved, and augmentation terminals allow for these buffs to be passed from one player to another. You'll notice each encounter has multiple terminals spread across the map. The terminal you dunk into does not matter in any instance, so dunk in any and pick up in any. Let's talk about buffs, starting with the first 2 that are used in this encounter. Operator is a buff that allows you to shoot something other players can't shoot. In this case, you'll be shooting little terminal pads to open doors to start the damage phase. Scanner's job is to read things. The scanner can see things that no other players can see, and will need to relay that information to the rest of their team. With that info in mind, let's talk about how we can clear these tubes and make our way further into the crypt. There are 2 sides to the room, light side and dark side. There's also a basement area which can be accessed by shooting the pads near the back doors and heading down. Only one player can be downstairs at any given time. You'll need to divide the following jobs amongst your team: operator, dark scanner, light scanner, and backup operator. Split your team up 3 players to each side, with operators and scanners being split up as well. Picking up the operator buff from the terminal will start the encounter. Enemies will now start to flood the rooms. On the dark side, one enemy will immediately spawn with the scanner buff above their head. Kill that guy and have your scanner grab the buff. Now starts the read phase. In the basement, there are 10 panels that can be shot by the operator, 5 on each side. The scanner's job will be to look through the various glass panels in the floor on the main level to see which 2 of those 5 on each side are glowing, and relay that information to their teammates. Once dark scanner reads their 2 panels, they need to bank the scanner buff so the light scanner can read on their side. Important to note that there are also servitors that will periodically spawn in, which will deactivate all augmentation terminals until they are eliminated. I would highly recommend spawn killing these servitors to make this part go as smooth as possible. Each side will also get an overload champion, so make sure you have someone with overload mods on to take care of that. The operator should wait to go into the basement until dark side scanner does their read, as once you're downstairs, you're on the clock. Being downstairs too long will cause the room to light on fire, killing your operator, which is bad. Once both scanners have revved, the operator will shoot the 4 correct panels out of the 10 to start the damage phase. This is where you need to be fast and efficient. All 6 fuses upstairs will now be open, but will need to be shot in a specific order. Shooting the wrong fuse will result in a team wipe. How do you know which ones to shoot? Well, in the basement, there are 6 smaller fuses above the middle console pertaining to each one above. However, we need to get the scanner buff downstairs for the player to read them. Here's the order of operations. Operator banks their buff, backup operator grabs the buff upstairs, scanner dunks their buff, and then basement player grabs the scanner buff and reads the fuses. Once the fuse is destroyed, move on to the next one. Be wary of exploder shanks that spawn in to catch you napping while you're shooting away here. I would recommend xenophage, fusions, or shotguns to burst the fuses down as fast as possible. If your team is fast enough, you can one-phase this, but if not, once the fuses close, have the basement player put scanner back in the terminal for dark scanner to read again. At this point, backup operator will go downstairs to shoot for the second phase. Rinse and repeat until the Crypt Security has been deactivated.